lovelies, my name is Jessica and welcome to Makeup.misfit. I have my first update for paranormal pantivity. Now before I get into this update, I am just going to kind of throw out there, I've decided that I still want to do this project, but I'm going to kind of slow it down and just make this more of a chill, relaxed project for myself as I've been trying to figure out what I want to pan and how I want to pan for the upcoming year. This project is still something that I want to do. I'm still interested in it. I'm still loving the idea of it. But I think I want to just slow it down a bit. So, what I've kind of decided, and also just because of how I kind of rolled in a couple of products for the intro, is I'm going to more or less use this as like hitting pan on like a whole product or a whole palette, but like just throwing each shade into a different prompt, if that makes sense. I do have an example of that in here, so I will show you in just a minute, but I do just want to kind of slow my roll, not feel like I need to have something out every update. I do, but I don't for this update. You'll understand when I get to that. But if I don't finish all of the prompts, or if I don't even hit all of the prompts within the year, I'm not going to be too worried about it. We'll see how next year goes. If, things next year are really, really good and I really want to pick up the pace on this project, then I'll do that as well. But as of right now, I'm just going to slow it down. I'm just going to focus on what I have when I want to focus on it and work my way through the products that I have in this project right now, and then move on to the next ones and so forth. So I'm gonna start off with the one product that is in here for two different prompts. This is what I'm talking about when I mean I want to have get as much use on a single product as I can, but throwing each shade in as a prompt. So for the shade, or for the prompt Doppelgänger and Revenant, I have the Orgasm blush and the Laguna bronzer. So my goal is to hit pan in both of these. Now, I've just started using the bronzer and I have not started reaching for the blush yet. It's fine. Like I said, this is going to be in here for quite a while, I'm sure, and I'm totally okay with that. We'll just have to see. If the highlighter was still in here, I would throw the highlighter in for another prompt as well. So I do just want to try and get as much use on this palette as a whole as I can. And I find that throwing the bronzer in for one prompt and the blush in for another just allows me to do that a little bit easier than if I only had this in here for one prompt, if that makes any sense at all. But sorry. But this is going to be in here for quite a while. Like I said, I just started using this. I have not started using the blush yet. I do have a couple of other blushes that I'm trying to hit pan on. I do have this blush, and then I have my face palette that I want to use for Pan That Face palette for 23. So if you have not seen my Pan That Face palette finale for 22, go check that out because I do discuss it a little bit in there. But this is one of the blushes that I was talking about, and I have not even used it yet. So I'm hoping soon. I'm hoping I can hit pan in one of those other two blushes, and then I can start to focus on this one a little bit. I have used up an Orgasm blush before, so this is just another one in the collection, and same with the Laguna bronzer. It's just another one in the collection, but I would like to get these out eventually. So right now the goal is just to hit pan, and then maybe I'll roll them back into this project or another project for a different prompt with the goal to finish, because that is ultimately what I would love to happen with this palette. So that was that one. Next, I have a Dybbuk, I think that's how you pronounce it, which was something that was in its original box. So I found my Becca highlighter in Moonstone. Now I reached for this one time, and then it kind of clued in that I have this eyelights palette in my Pan Those eyeshadows right now, and Moonstone is in here. So I'm just going to cover up the shade that is in my Pan Those eyeshadows, but I'm going to show you, this is Moonstone and this is what it's looking like. I have decided that I'm reaching for it in this palette instead of the single. So I'm twisting the prompt just a little bit, and I'm just saying that it's the Moonstone, the Becca highlight, the Moonstone shade was in the box, but I'm using this one instead. Just because this one's much older, I want to get a lot more use on this palette as a whole, but I would like to finish hitting pan in here before I hit pan in the single. This one's much newer to my collection, so to me, I want to work on what's oldest right now, and that just happens to be the one that's in this palette. So I am working on this one. I originally was going to just wait until this update to kind of mention that and then start reaching for it, but I have been reaching for it in here, so it has been at least a handful or so times. So we'll see how much longer it's going to take to hit pan. I might be able to get this out by the next update. I do reach for this pretty much every single day, so I'm really enjoying it. It fits me perfectly for this time of year. I love the moonstone shade, and I love it for me for this time of year. So I have no problems reaching for this whatsoever. So I hope you don't mind too much that I kind of tweaked this prompt for myself a little bit, but I just want to work on, it's the same shade, it's the same thing. I just would much rather get the older version out of my collection a lot sooner than the newer one. So it is what it is. Sorry if you don't like it, but that's just how I want to work through my collection right now, so that's what I'm going to do. But this one's staying in and might be out by the next update. You never know. So next was Ectoplasm, which was a face mask, and I chose to go with this one by Glow Recipe. Now this is the mini, and I do have a full size, so I do still have quite a ways to go because my goal is to finish this, but you can see I've been reaching around the edge right there. Everything else is still pretty full in here. I think I've used this about 3 times maybe. I'm not keeping track of usage, but that's still much more than what I was reaching for prior to rolling it into this project. I actually used this last night, so I'm happy that I'm at least getting a little bit of use. If this takes me a while, it takes me a while. I would like to get it out sooner though, just because I do have the full size that I want to start getting into, because I've had that one for quite a while already, but we'll see how it goes. I've never really been in the habit of using a face mask, and I tend to fall out of it pretty easily, so as long as I can kind of keep up consistent use on this, I feel like I'll be able to get some good use, and it'll probably for sure be in here for the next few months. So we'll see if the beginning of the new year I can get this rolled out. That would be wonderful, but until then, it's sticking around and you'll be seeing her. So for Ghost, which was unfinished business, this is where I rolled in my Norvina and my soft glam palette from ABH. These were my Pan That palettes for $21. Now, what I had said with these was I was going to have some light goals. This is where I'm rolling something out, but I'm technically rolling in, but I'm still keeping this prompt in because I had said I wanted to, once I felt like I had really good use on these palettes as a whole, that's when I would roll the prompt itself out. But the prompt will be in here for a while. I'll just be rolling different shades in to this prompt just to get some use on here. So I was working on the shade Love, and this is all that's left, which there was a very little amount to begin with, but I've been digging my brush in there, and I really haven't reached for it all that often either. So I think what I might do is mix this with Dusty Rose, which I will show you. Actually, let's just show you right now, because that's been making some pretty good progress as well. These are super messy, and my sultry shade just kind of shattered somehow all over this palette. So this is what Dusty Rose is looking like. So I might just kind of like mix the two together and then throw it on my lid, and I can probably get just like one more use out of it. So technically these shades are going to be rolled out. I'm rolling in new shades to replace them. But this shade here somehow got all over this side of my palette. Don't know what happened. It is very messy, so when I go to use it, it's like Fallout City. So I am going to focus on that shade just to get it out, but I'm not going to roll it into the prompt. I'm just going to try and focus on it on my own just to get some use on it. But the shades that I will be focusing on is Orange Soda from this palette. I do want to focus on Sienna as well, but my goal is just going to be to finish off Orange Soda for this palette, see what I can use out of Sienna in that one. And then in Norvina, I want to actually, you know what? Let's finish off Summer. I'm going to probably try and focus on Eccentric here. I would like to hit pan on that, especially with this time of year. I think that like these shades would be really nice together. So I'm going to try and focus on these two shades, But as for finishing off one, I want to finish off summer. And I think I'll be able to do that. It might take me a couple of months, but that's fine. I think I'll still be able to make some really good progress on it. So I'm going to try and finish off summer, and I just want to see how much use I can get on these two shades. I know I'd be able to use them in November as well, so I'm not too worried about it. Well, I guess it would be the end of November into December, since it's already almost the end of October, which is just mind-blowing to think about. And then here I want to finish off orange soda and just work on sienna as much as I can, and that's all that I'm going to focus on from this palette. So I'm really excited to get the new shades going in here. I'm really excited to continue to make some good progress on these palettes little by little, and hopefully get them to as close to being finished as I can before the end of this project. We'll see how long this prompt stays in here for, but until I feel like I'm making some really good progress on both of these palettes, this prompt will be in here, but there will be different shades rolled in, not necessarily every month, but there will be new shades being rolled in each time. And then last but not least was Flying Dutchman. So I decided to roll in the ABH contour palette because this is something that you feel like you're going to be panning for forever. So I've been focusing on these three shades here, and my goal is to hit pan all three. I'm not focusing on a certain shade. I just want to hit pan in one of them at least. But I was using those three to set under my eyes, and I've kind of stopped doing that. So I don't know if I like how it looks. So I think what I'm going to do is, I am working on a loose powder right now. So once I finish that powder, then I'm going to try and work on these three shades just all over my face and see if it works that way. I'm going to try and make them work. But for some reason, I just had to kind of stop setting under my eyes right now. It was looking a little dry, I think is the word I'm looking for. But that's with any powder at this moment, so especially with winter time. So I'm just going to kind of see how it goes. So this is going to be in here for a long time. I can tell you that right now, at least at this rate. But that's fine. I just want to get some good use on these three shades. I'm not focusing on the bottom ones right now. It's just these top three. And we'll just see how they go. I'm just taking my brush and swirling them into all three of them. I was kind of dipping one and then the other and then the third. But I figured if I just kind of swirl my brush between all three shades, it's getting a little bit of everything. It was kind of working, but it was also kind of not. So I want to see how it's going to look all over the face. I don't know if that's going to be a good setting powder for that or anything, but we'll have to see. So this is going to be in here for a while, but that's fine. That's fine with me. So that is the update. Unfortunately, like I said, I won't be rolling anything new in necessarily, just the new shades from my ABH palettes. But yeah, I hope you guys don't mind that this is going to be more of a relaxed video for me, or more of a relaxed project for me. Just kind of let things come in, work on them when I can, as I can, and roll them out as I do. And I like the idea of rolling in a full palette, but rolling in different shades for different prompts, just to get better whole use on a product like this or something. So that is everything. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you all later. Bye.